Academy, I realized that I was still a knucklehead and I needed to grow up. And I woke up one morning and I saw this commercial saying, "Be all you can be, United States Army." So the next day I told my mother I'm going to the Army, and she says, "Over my dead body." I was the youngest son of 6. I was the only boy born to my mother and her only son. So she didn't want to lose me in a war. So she wouldn't sign me into the Army. I was 17 years of age, so I wasn't old enough to go. So I told her, "Fine. If you don't sign me in the Army, I'm just going to join a gang and I'm going to hang out and get into some trouble." The next day she went down to the recruiting station and signed me in. I then went to the United States Army. First time I'd ever left the city of Chicago. First time truly I had really left the project. So I went and I went to basic training. That's when I became a man. I was ill, really ill, and they had put me on bed rest for 3 days. And on the second date, I didn't get any food. They didn't bring me any food, and once you, those who are in the military know that you get up, 4:30, 5 o'clock, you don't get back to the barracks until around 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So no one had brought me any food, so when the drill sergeant got back, I thought he was going to coddle me like my mother would have, since I was our youngest child. And I told him, I said, "Drill sergeant, listen, I didn't get any food today, no one brought me any food." And he put that drill sergeant cap in my forehead and let me have it. It says, "If your blankety blank 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 wasn't sick, you catch on, blankety blank blank." I don't want to say what he told me, but it really shocked me. So that night I had got in my bed and I cried. Not loud, I don't want the other soldiers to hear me. But I said something to myself. I said, "Listen, it's you against the world. Either you're going to make it or you're going to go home and go back to the projects and probably join a gang." I chose the former. I says, "No, I'm not going back. I'm never going back there." So I got up. The next day I went and got in formation. The drill sergeant came and he started yelling at me, "Get back upstairs. You're on sick, you're on medical, you're on bed rest. You got a medical profile." And those in the military know once you're on a medical profile, the drill sergeant, no one else can overrule that. But I refused to go. So he sent the battalion on and says, "Listen, I'll deal with Private Lyke by myself." So it was he and I around 5 o'clock in the morning, and he just let me have it. And I stood in front of that man and I cried. And I told him, "I can't go. I'm not going." And he just stared at me, and tears ran down my face. And he said, "Soldier, go ahead and catch up." And that day changed my life forever. Within 3 weeks, he made me the squad leader. I was 17 years old, in charge of 17, 25, 30-year-old men. And I went on and was honored with discharge from there. Then, when I got out of the service, I decided to go to school and fulfill one of my dreams, and that was to become a lawyer. I went and started working for the United States Postal Service during the day. At night, I went to Chicago State University, where I graduated with honors. In fact, I was #1 in my business class. From there, I started working for the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development during the day, and I went to law school at night. I made the national trial team for Chicago King College of Law. In fact, I had the highest score ever at the time. I don't know if it's been broken or not. But nonetheless, after there, I went and became an assistant Cook County State's attorney, where I stayed there for 6 years. I prosecuted in practically every division inside the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, starting in traffic and ending supervising the Southside Community Prosecutions Bureau. After that, I left and I started my own practice. 15 years, I defended people, and I am a lifelong Southland, Chicago resident, Cook County. I'm a resident of Rich Township, and proudly, Tim Bradford is my committee, who you know very well. And now the Supreme Court has appointed me to become a judge, and I have been a judge for the last several months. I stand ready and committed. What you want from a judge, you want a judge who's been through some things, who understands. And I've been through some things, and I understand. When you talk about compassion and fairness, take a look at my life. And I ask you for your support, because what you see here